Okay, these are 6 questions that I'd like you to try on your own. They're exactly what we talked about in the last lecture. We have a ratio equaling a fraction equals another fraction, and we have an x, and we have to solve for x to make the equation true in each question. I'd like you, even though you could do the question in your calculator, I especially made these questions up that they should be easy enough to do in your head. So I'd like you to try to do these without a calculator if you want. Otherwise, you can use a calculator. That's okay too. And let's show our work for this. Usually we can just go straight to the answer, but let's show what numbers we multiplied and divide to get the answer. So for example, on this first one, I'll do it for you. We'd write here x is going to be what? Well, it's this is the cross with both numbers, right? So it's 5 times 8 divided by 4. So just write this step in, okay? 5 times 8 divided by 4. And 5 times 8 is 40. 40 divided by 4 is 10. So instead of just writing x equals 10 right away as your answer, just include this step here, okay? It's kind of showing your work. And that'll help you understand the technique a little better. But later on, we won't have to show our work. We'll be able to go directly from the ratio to our answer. Okay, so let's pause the video and take each of these 5 questions, do them on your own, and when we resume the video, we'll do them together. Okay, so I hope you did those questions and you found them not too bad. Let's do them together now. Here on this one, this is the cross with both numbers, right? So we're going to go 6 times 6 divided by 9. That's our answer. 6 times 6 divided by 9. And this is just to show our work. Of course, it's easy. 6 times 6 is 36. 36 divided by 9 is 4. So the answer here is 4. What about on this one? Which cross has 2 numbers? This cross or this cross? Well, of course, it's this one. So what do? I multiply these two and then divide by the other one. So 12 times 4 divided by 3. 12 times 4 is 48. 48 divided by 3, 16. Okay, this one. Well, this is the cross with both numbers, so I'm going to multiply them, 40 times 3, and then divide by the other one, 60. 40 times 3 divided by 60. Well, 40 times 3 is 120, and 120 is divided 120 divided by 60 is 2. So there we go for that one. And how about here? This is our cross with both numbers, so we're going to take 15 times 3 divided by 9. 15 times 3 divided by 9. Or if you want, you could write 3 here and then the 15 in brackets. That's the same thing, right? So what is 15 times 3? It's 45. 45 divided by 9 is 5. How about this one? X here is going to be 1 times 90 divided by 10. 1 times 90 divided by 10. And that's 9. 1 times 90 is 90. 90 divided by 10 is 9. Okay, so these we didn't really need a calculator, okay? Now, in the next set of questions, I'm going to ask you, I'm going to have some decimals and some larger numbers, and you're not expected to be able to do those without a calculator. So let's try some now where we're going to need a calculator. Here are 6 more questions I'd like you to try now. And these ones we're going to need a calculator for sure. And if the answer is a decimal that is repeating or non-terminating or whatever, then I'd like you to round your answer to the nearest hundredth, okay? And let's also show our work for this one. So don't just write the answer, write in that extra step like we did on the last set of questions where we actually show what 2 numbers we're multiplying and dividing, okay? So take those up now, pause the video, and we'll do them together in a second. Okay, so I hope you did those and they went okay. Let's do them together now. X here, it's going to be, well, this is the cross with both numbers, right? So we multiply those two and then divide by the other one. So it's 19 times 41 divided by 11. And I'm going to use my calculator for that. 19 times 41 divided by 11. Okay, if I round that to the nearest hundredth, I get 70.82. Like my calculator shows this, it shows 8, 1, 8, 1, 8, etc. And let's just make sure we remember our rounding here. We're doing rounding to the nearest hundredth. So my 1 is the rounding digit. I look over here, it's an 8, which is 5 or more. So I need to make this into a 2. And that's my answer. And I chop off the rest. So I'm going to erase the rest of that. And so my answer is 70.82. All right. So from now on, I'm not going to explain the rounding anymore, okay? Because I assume that's easy. And you know it. I'm just going to give the answer and round it without any further comment. All right, this one. This is the cross with both numbers. So I'm going to multiply those two, 30 times 31, and then divide by the number that hasn't been used yet, which is 84 in this case. 30 times 31, I go to my calculator, divided by 84. Rounding to the nearest hundredth gives me 11.07. This one, this is the cross with both numbers, so I multiply them and I divide by the other guy. 76 times 47 divided by 8.1. And I get my answer to be 76 multiplied by 47 divided by 8.1. The answer is 440.99. The next one here, x is going to be 8.9 multiplied by 4.1 divided by 3.3. What does that turn out to be? Go to my calculator, 8.9 times 4.1 divided by 3.3, 11.06. Next one, x is going to be 5.3 times 6.9, all divided by 2.1. What is that? 5.3 times 6.9 divided by 2.1. Rounding that to the nearest hundredth, to 2 decimal places, in other words, 17.41. Okay, the last one on this sheet is right here. I look at my crosses. This is a 7 here. Maybe you thought it was a 3, I don't know. 0.7. This is the cross with both numbers, isn't it? And this cross we just have a number. We have a number and a letter. So I look at this one, and this is the one I multiply the two numbers on. And then I divide by the other number, 0.4. And what does this turn out to be? 0.7 multiplied by 0.8 divided by 0.4. You get 1.4. And that's an exact answer, so I don't need to put a 0 there. I don't need to. This is not a rounded number, so. Okay, so those are my 6 answers. I hope you found this sheet to be pretty easy. It's just a basic kind of technique of algebra to solve a ratio in this way. Like I said, you could use cross multiplying if you wanted, but I find this a little bit quicker. And also later on, this step here where we kind of show our work, we can skip that. We're allowed to just go straight from the question to this answer, okay? In our calculator, we just, without even writing this step, we can just go 30 times 31 divided by 84, and then write our answer directly without including that. I just wanted to include that on each of these, so you see that how the work, you see the work that gives the answer. It's usually a good idea to show your work, but this is so easy that we're going to be allowed to skip it. So remember, this is just review still, so we'll get to the real stuff soon enough. I just want to make sure you have a real solid background before we do any questions, so you know exactly what to do. Okay, so the next lecture is going to be on solving ratios again, actually, except we're just going to do something a little bit different, and I just want to make sure you know how to handle that. So let's take that up now.